Hi, I'm Kara Goodwin, host of the Meditation Conversation podcast. And today I wanted to talk about something that I've been reading in Michael Jaco's book, The Intuitive Warrior. And this is about the alpha brainwave state. And I'm not hugely proficient in exactly all the brainwaves. I know the brainwaves, but I'm definitely not hugely studied on them. But he talks about this state of, he actually uses it in relation to having, he's a Navy SEAL, or he was a Navy SEAL, and going through the training for being a Navy SEAL, one of the exercises that they have to do is that you're being attacked from multiple people at once, and you're kind of fending off multiple attacks at one time. And he talks about how most of the time, especially when we're really in fight or flight, we zero in and we're kind of trying to do like one thing at a time, and focus everything on one thing, and ideally like clear that away and then get to the other thing. And it doesn't work in that situation. And what does work is this kind of opening up our perception, so that instead of having that narrow focus where we're just addressing one thing, we open everything and we're taking the whole environment in at one time. And I believe he talked about like the peripheral vision and the role that the peripheral vision plays. And so I've just kind of been playing with this a little bit on my own casually, and it's been really fascinating. That's why I wanted to share this, because I think it'll be something that you might be interested in and get a lot out of as well. And so that is not taking a direct meditative state. This isn't something that I've been working on in meditation with my eyes closed, but it's more something that I'll bring to mind kind of on the go and play around with. So, for example, taking a walk. And instead of, well, for one thing, it can be really easy to just take a walk and then your mind is just doing, it's just flitting around like a butterfly from one thing to another, and you're not really focusing in on anything. Or maybe, you're really trying to think through a problem, or you're replaying a triggering situation, or any of the things that we might do. But in my experience, it's either kind of just flitting around from one thing to another without really having any direction of thought, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Or I'm really kind of overly focused on one thing on the walk. But what I am usually not doing is just trying to have this kind of open, more 360 almost, um, perspective about the entirety of my environment. And it's interesting because if we think about mindfulness, a lot of times that is bringing all of our focus to one thing, and we might move that focus around. So it may be that, like, again, taking the walk, having a mindful walk. Okay, I'm noticing every step I take. I'm noticing the pressure within my shoes. I'm noticing the sounds that the leaves crunching. I'm noticing the smells. And all of those, which is a beautiful, beautiful practice, but we're taking kind of one thing at a time and really trying to direct our focus in that way. So this way is having like more of a whole brained approach. So rather than really zeroing in and having like one part of our brain that's really observing, so if we're really focused on the scent in the air, for example, then that's just really bringing forth the senses within our brain of scent. Or if we're really feeling, or feeling that, how our feet feel on the as we take each step, then we're working, maybe really focusing on the motor skills, maybe really focusing on our hearing sense. But but we may not notice that there's a squirrel that's over, a few yards away, and it's carrying nuts, and we might not notice the leaves that are falling to our left, or there might be a lot of things that we miss because we're really focusing on one thing. So this kind of alpha state is really having a more whole and complete picture of everything. And again, using the peripheral vision. So it's kind of like if you think of your actual physical vision, it's even being aware of what is happening on the corners of your vision, like on the outer perimeter of your vision, and really just allowing all of it to have equal weight. So, not overly focusing on any of it, even not trying to see what's in our peripheral vision, but rather just having more of like I'm holding all of it equally. And it's not, again, not like getting too heady or intellectual about any of it, but you can try this even as you're watching this video, where you kind of zoom out and just hold this like a bigger perspective, letting everything kind of have equal weight. And what it does is it's engaging your whole brain. So it allows your whole brain to be used, both hemispheres of the brain, every sector within the brain, kind of taking in all the data from a more of a neutral place, and um, letting the hemispheres work with each other, so it's not so much that we're analyzing what's happening with the right side of our brain. Um, so again, this is just something to experiment with, to try and to see what does that feel like for you. And again, something that is fun to do on the go rather than having like a separate practice. So I need to make time to do this kind of alpha brainwave thing, but just doing it on the go. And again, I feel like it's like a pulling back or a zooming out and kind of it's kind of taking in all of that information. My screen froze, so I'm not sure if the recording froze there, but that was what I was saying. So it's kind of a zooming out, or a lifting up, where we allow more of a holistic view about what's happening. So I would love to hear if you've engaged with this, if you've tried this, um, or go and try it and see how you get on and let me know. And I do recommend Michael Jaco's book, Intuitive Warrior. I'm really getting a lot out of that. I'm excited to have Michael on in 2 months, hosting a live stream for the Conscious Awakening Network and the Meditation Conversation. So you do need to register for that if you want to join us live. And I've got the link in the description there where you can do that and just sign up, and then you'll get the Zoom link and everything. I've got some amazing guests coming up. Isabella Green, Jason Paget, and Maureen St. Germain. So some really great live streams coming up that you don't want to miss. So be sure you do need to register for each one. Registration is free, but again, it allows me to send out the Zoom link easily. And so I hope to see you there. I hope you're having a beautiful day and week, and I send you many, many blessings. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.